So it appears that WWE is finally ending the current iteration of the New Day that was Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E. A shocking turn of events that occurred on Monday Night Raw, and it really got me inspired for this week's episode of the Friday 500. Of course, my name is Jose Ramos Jr. Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 5 of my favorite trios in WWE history. Before I share my list, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel in order to keep up to date with all the content that we produce here on the J Area Wrestling Podcast, as well as the live post-show reactions to Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and the occasional PLE or pay-per-view. And with that being said, let's go and let's just jump right into it here. At the number 5 spot, I have the Wyatt family. The original incarnation of the Wyatt family had included Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan. For me, this definitely makes it on my list because of the level of intrigue and just the uniqueness that came with the gimmick itself. Bray Wyatt, who tragically was taken way too early, and to see the legacy that he left behind in, quite frankly, a short time. You look at his time on the main roster, it was from 2013 to 2023. That's 10 years. But that short time in that early years of the Wyatt family certainly left an impact on a lot of people. It was able to elevate the guys like Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, as well as present Bray Wyatt as a unique character that we had not seen the likes of in years. Some people were touting him as the next Undertaker, the next face of fear, if you will, and to see where it all comes from Bray Wyatt in terms of his creativity and the mind that was Wyndham Rotunda. It's interesting to see the vision that he had for the character and how it translated onto TV. They would go on to have memorable feuds with the likes of the Usos, John Cena, and a couple of classic matches against the Shield. For that reason, the Wyatt family, I think, has always had a great impact on me, and I'm certain on you as well. So that's why I have them here at number 5 in terms of my top 5 trios in WWE history. Now here at number 4, it's a little bit of a cheat here, because although they did take part in the WWE, they're probably more known for their time in WCW. I'm talking about the New World Order, specifically that original trio of Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash. They helped revolutionize the business of professional wrestling and reintroduced a boom period to the WWE and WCW during the Monday Night Wars. Say what you will about the creative that took place after the inception of the NWO, or the reputation that WCW was able to amass throughout the last years of Nitro and WCW in general. But what Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Hulk Hogan were able to do, like I said, revitalize the business. It became cool to cheer the bad guy. You look at the NWO merchandise, a lot of people still wearing the NWO t-shirts even though it's been 30 years. They would set precedent to what the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars would all be about, presenting realism and just storylines that weren't insulting people's intelligence. They made way for guys like D-Generation X and for the Bullet Club for that matter. So the NWO, although one of the more controversial aspects of pro wrestling, still probably one of the more influential trios of all time. And we talk about influential, well, here at number 3, this is a trio that really influenced me growing up as a kid. I'm talking about Team Extreme, the Hardy Boys and Lita. These 3 together were some of the more exciting characters on WWE TV. Classic moments, classic matches. They were over as baby faces, and each one of them were highlighted as such. I can't think of a better trio that integrated that of a female competitor than like Team Extreme. Lita was the women's champion. The Hardy Boys, decorated tag team champions, would go on to be future world champions as well. You can't tell the story of the Attitude Era without the Hardy Boys and Lita. They were so instrumental in the success that followed the Attitude Era, and they would help the Ruthless Aggression Era as well, as Matt Hardy's feud with Edge involving Lita, well documented. Jeff Hardy was as over as a babyface can be during his time in 2007 to 2009. Seeing the moments like Edge spearing Jeff Hardy off the ladder, the constant TLC matches, the ladder matches, their feuds with the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, always something to remember when you're talking about the highlights of the WWE at its peak. Number 2, I have the New Day. Now obviously with recent events taking place, it's tough seeing that the New Day will no longer be together. It seems that Xavier and Kofi Kingston might be sticking together as a heel tag team, but getting rid of Big E is a tough pill to swallow. I think that the New Day certainly was never intended to be one of the greatest teams of all time, but over time, that's what it became. They are 12-time tag team champions, whether it was in NXT, Raw, or SmackDown. They had several key moments in the WWE, whether it was Kofi Mania, Big E cashing in his briefcase to win the WWE title. Heck, we even saw Xavier Woods achieve a childhood dream of winning the King of the Ring. Whether it was in or out of the ring, these three together always found ways to entertain us as good guys and bad guys. Their feud against the Usos, I think, is probably the greatest tag team feud of the modern era, and it should not go unnoticed that the talent that they possess is certainly what put them over the top, but it was their charisma and just their character work that helped cement them as WWE legends, and I think inevitably WWE Hall of Famers. Before we get to the number one spot, I want to give a quick honorable mention and shout out to the fabulous Freebirds. Of course, one of the greatest trios in professional wrestling history. They helped introduce the Freebird rule that would allow a trio to be the tag team champions and have a revolving door around who would be competing and defending those tag team titles. Although not the first ever wrestling trio, I think it's important to give acknowledgments to Buddy Roberts, Michael P.S. Hayes, of course Gordy as well, as they really helped define what a trio's champions could be. And I gotta give credit to the fabulous Freebirds on that front. But for number one, for me, it's the Shield. I mean, in WWE history, have we ever seen a trio enter the main roster on such a dominant run and sustain such dominance in their singles careers? Jon Moxley, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, the Shield. I mean, these guys came in as a unified front. They did work together, they fought together, and they won together. Now, looking at the current state of professional wrestling, they all rule the world of wrestling. I mean, Jon Moxley, the current AEW World Champion, Seth Rollins, one of the top baby faces on Monday Night Raw, and Roman Reigns, who finally made good on his promise to be the big dog, to be the main guy in all of WWE. Whether it was their presentation, whether it was their match quality, whatever the case may be, the Shield always felt like a big deal. Great matches against the likes of the Wyatt family, their matches against Team Hell No and Randy Orton, their interactions with Evolution, and those two matches that they had that would eventually culminate in the betrayal of Seth Rollins, where he would attack Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, breaking up the Shield and setting in motion for what the current state of professional wrestling would be to this day. I think it goes without saying that in terms of the WWE history, there has not been a more consequential and quite frankly, a group that has set forward in motion so many different moments, a trickle-down effect, if you will, like the Shield. But that's my set of my favorite trios in WWE history. I'd love to hear from you guys in terms of who are some of your favorite three-person groups. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below some of your favorite trios, and make sure you subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the pro wrestling content that we produce here in the J area. Of course, my name is Jose Ramos Jr. Thank you for joining me in today's video, and I'll be sure to see you guys tonight on SmackDown's post-show reaction live stream. Until then, I'll see you guys.